Hey guys, what's going on? So today I am bringing you the aftermath on the 1996 Buick Regal. Well, this thing has seen better days. If you guys haven't seen the GoPro footage or the stands footage, go check it out. Let's go ahead and talk about it. So this thing had a very hard fight in the heat. This thing really took a beating in the heat. Really, really bad. The control arm, oh wow, I just realized this. Now I can see it. That's torn. That's very, very much torn. But it was bent bad from the heat. And yes, I was running tube tires. Nothing the rules said you couldn't. This side, it did bend a little bit. I'm not sure whether that bent in the heat or the feature. At least this side. I think it might have been in the heat, because I did take a shot that ended up putting this wheel closer to the inner fender well there. But this frame rail was junk after the heat. I'll try to insert a photo of that right now. Subframe's bent, frame's bent bad. Frame's bent back there. And so this one's just, it was going over and in. We talked about putting a new bumper on it and stuff like that, but there's just no way we had time to straighten out this frame rail, put another bumper on it, and then to what end, because the radiator was already junk after the heat. It was just not going well. Basically, this car was junk. I mean, the back end was really, really, I mean, it really actually didn't get much worse than what it was in the heat. And this is, oops, I forgot my stuff is still in here. This is where the back end's at. I mean, it is ridiculously pushed in. I haven't even loaded this thing, but this radiator, this is the one that actually was in it. Let me go ahead and get it out real quick. And let's see where the hole is on this thing. The fuel filler neck was not broken. We actually ended up cutting that off and looping the hoses. I'm not exactly sure where this radiator was punctured. I think actually it could be right there. Could be right there, because it was spraying. I know it was spraying me in the face with water. So, but it had a relatively slow leak. It wasn't super fast, but it was pouring out pretty good when we tried filling it. So I brought another radiator, and guess what happened? That one leaked even worse than this one did. I don't know. I just had that one sitting around. I thought it was a good radiator. No, not even close. So I said, you know what, screw it. We'll leave it in there. And my father said, you know what, let's just cut off the water neck and see if we can loop it. So we looped it, and it didn't do so well. The old 3800 still overheated, but that's not what took me out. I'll get to that in just a minute. Back end, I'm not even sure. I haven't, to be honest with you guys, I haven't had the time to watch the grandstands footage or the GoPro footage, so I could be talking on my butt as far as getting that stuff up. I'm not even sure if all the film was good, but what I can say is that it almost looks like the back end kind of went straight in based off the way this looks, but it's very deceiving because of the fact that this thing's pushed down. I've never had a Buick Regal do this in the back, and I think it's just because of how hard of shots I was doing, or sorry, was taking from these other cars. It was just, there just really stood no chance. It bent in so quick that and it ripped the floors right out. And it was starting, the reason why I stopped using the back end, you could hear me in the GoPro footage, hopefully it's good. I said, I gotta stop using this back end because it was getting so bad that I was concerned about it hitting my tank towards the end. So let me go ahead and take the spare tire out. You guys can see just how crushed in that floor is. Big gap. It's bad. It's really, really bad. I would have ran the 93 Regal again over this. This is terrible. I just don't understand, to me, why, because I took some hard shots in those other Regals that were rusty, and nothing compares to this. This is just junk. Just junk. Even though it doesn't look that bad, it really doesn't, but it's junk. I took one of the hardest shots of the night, I think, in this passenger door. I actually bent, my seats actually bent over. So I can't believe this door didn't push in harder than what it did. My pillar, I'll show you guys on the other side because it's better to relay that information on the other side, because there was basically very little room between my pillar. You guys can see it right there, and my seat being crooked. I don't know if I could get a good angle on it. It's crooked. And the amount of room between my seat and the thing, I mean, there was not even close to that much room between that pillar and my seat. Not even close. This has got to be pushed out maybe close to half a foot. So, I mean, it's kind of impressive. So what took me out? That was the golden question, right? Well, if you noticed in the GoPro, I was screaming about my throttle. That's because I hit that Avalon, really tried to hit him as hard as I could, and after that I had no pedal. Well, let's go ahead and take a look and see what happened. And I will admit this right now, if this was a 3100, this would not have happened. But because it's a 3800, it did. Let's see if I can get this hood open with one hand. I might not be able to. This hood's mangled. Let me go ahead and set down the camera again. So, here is underneath the hood. Let's go ahead and take a look at where the throttle is. That's not right. That can't be good. So, I'm sure you see the problem now. The brake master cylinder is into my throttle. And it snapped this off. Well, it didn't snap it off. It's actually in one piece still. This throttle cable is actually still good as far as I can tell. And it ended up popping that off, and it was just free floating like in this hole here. So I could only pull the throttle back maybe just a tiny bit. And so what ended up happening was I just simply lost the ability to use my gas pedal. And that's what took me out of the feature. Nothing other than that. I ended up, when everything was said and done, got towed out of the ring. On the other side of the racetrack, on the right side, if you're looking at the grandstands footage, on the right side of the grandstands, popped the hood open, asked a guy for a knife, cut a few zip ties, zip tied it right there, and drove it to the trailer. And then she overheated on me and wouldn't start back up. So there's that. So it didn't have much longer, but and I knew she was getting real hot. But and this, I gotta say, I'm pretty disappointed with how this handled heat. It was not very impressive with heat wise. I was surprised because I've heard that these 3800s are champs with heat, but that wasn't the case with this one, at least as far as I noticed. And it did have a bypass limp mode that was not in limp mode, I can tell you that. But she does run. Let's go and start her up one last time, because I actually need some parts off of this engine, believe it or not. I just picked up a car today, a Grand Prix, needs a crank sensor, and I put a new harmonic balancer in this 3800, so why not just grab that one? And I think it actually blew an intake gasket, this car. Let's go ahead and hook that up. Whatever, I won't even check the oil. Let's see here. Pull that on, hit the key. There she is. Like a champ. Like a champ. Yep. Ready to go for another round of Demolition Derby. Unfortunately, this thing will never see the track again. I just realized that wire was rubbing on the belt. But the reason why it's idled so high, I think, is because of that cable being the way it is. There you go. So that's pretty much it for the Regal, guys. Not much else to say. We did get a little trophy out of the heat. Made it about halfway through the feature. That was a very hard fought heat. There was practically nothing left of this thing after the heat, guys. It was possibly the worst car going into that feature. if it was just the heat, and that was a one and done type of heat, I think we would have actually had a decent chance at winning the heat. I was still moving around pretty darn good, and she wasn't super hot at that point. And honestly, the other car in there actually that ended up winning the whole thing that night, he was having a lot of troubles moving because of his flat tire up front. And if I had popped his other tire, I think I probably would have ended up winning the heat. But we had heats and features. It was $2,500 to win, and the good old 3800 just could not hold up for me because of the fact that stupid throttle cable. That's what we call more or less bad luck. I think that's what we're going to draw that down to. Just bad luck. I think it is all due to the front bumper for the most part. I'm just trying to think of anything weird else that happened, really. I mean, she ran flawlessly the whole time, pretty much. I don't think it stalled once in the heat at all, I don't think. I'm just recalling. In the feature, it definitely did. But that's because it was just hot, and then was running like garbage because of that throttle cable being off, because it would basically not be above idle. So, yep. It's unfortunate. I was really hoping to say good things about the 3800, but honestly, that's the reason why this car lost, is because of this motor. Now, yeah, I mean, I guess that's pretty much all I could say. So I do have another one of these, identical car, with the same throttle body, or yeah, same throttle body setup, where it's in the back there in that same master cylinder. I'm gonna have to figure out how to avoid this from happening, because this is obviously, I don't think this is a one-time failure. I think this is going to be a reoccurring theme, because with this motor pushed back, that's the first thing that hits. So I am not sure if that's even avoidable, because there's no room left. I already bent this plate out as far as it could go, so I don't know. I really don't know. It's frustrating, because I'm trying to figure out a way not to have to swap the motor out, you know. So either way, that's it for the 1996 Regal. She took a pretty good beating for sure. And could she still drive? The answer is yes. Right now it could still drive, but there's no sense in derbying this more. The frame's bent all over the place. It's real bad. Really bad, as I kind of thought this car would be. I didn't think this car was going to hold up to the abuse, and I was right, especially because I really knew it was going to be a Camry fest, and that's most of the cars that were in the feature were Camrys. It actually was a Lumina, surprisingly enough, a clean Lumina at that. And I think he had the same kind of issue that I did with overheating, but I don't know if the old 3800, if I could kept it, as long as it was running, it stayed running if you could keep it up in the RPM. So I don't know how long it would have went if I could have kept her running. I think it would have went down to maybe top 3, but I don't think it would have made it much further unless I put on a lot of punishment to other cars. So, yep, it is what it is. So I'm gonna grab all the good parts that I had off of this thing and send her off to scrap. I kind of figured it would be a one and done kind of car, so can't say I'm disappointed. Let's go ahead and take a look under here. I told you guys to remember, there's no lighting, so it is what it is. We'll maybe take a look at it in the, I'll make another video on this thing, obviously. I always do. Before I send them off to scrap, I'll make another video. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I'm sorry about the daylight not being here, but things have been so crazy around here that I haven't really had the chance to do what I wanted to do as far as making these videos when I wanted to make them. So, alright, stay tuned, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all the support. And bye, everybody.